Philadelphia, and welcome to the final episode before the big game, the Super Bowl, Eagles versus Chiefs of the cheap seats. Did I say Chiefs? I said Chiefs. They are Chiefs, but these are the cheap seats. Guys, I am so excited to be here, to be getting ready for the big game. But Jason, like our pre-production meeting, what you said off the top is don't bury the lead. Let's talk to the people and tell them exactly how we're feeling about the game. And I'm going to start it off, and this is exactly how I'm feeling. And I've had to check myself over the week to make sure, and look inward to make sure I still continuously feel this way. In 2004, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and it was the first Super Bowl I've ever seen since I was alive. And I was praying upon prayer, I was praying to the football games, hoping upon hope, and fingers crossed that the Eagles were going to go and beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots dynasty and try to get the job done. But there was a little voice in the back of my head. You ever have that little voice, BG, the little voice in the back of your head?
I got 4 of them.
You got 4 of them?
Yep.
You got multiple voices.
Yep.
He's got a whole crowd. But the voice in the back of my head that I can only describe as the L Gremlin told me, dude, they ain't got this game. And no matter how much hope and how much I prayed, they ended up losing to Tom Brady, walking into the buzzsaw that was the Bill Belichick-led Patriots dynasty. 2017, going into the game, no voice, nothing. I bet I felt the same way a lot of you listening and viewing right now felt. Just a serene, calm, a peaceful energy. You tasted destiny, and you knew what destiny lied ahead of this team. 2022, I was at the Super Bowl. I went to Arizona. I went and watched it for myself. And again, I was hopeful upon hope, praying to the football gods that they were going to win, but the Gremlin was back. The old L Gremlin was back. And he told me, dude, this is the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty, and you ain't got this. Turns out, come out after halftime, the Rihanna concert, which I refused to miss. What do you know? Look what happened. Refs got in the way. As I sit before you today, and as I have checked myself all week, the voices in my head are quiet. It is serene, peaceful, calm, confidence. The same feeling I had in 2017. And I got a feeling that we are going to have, after the Super Bowl, the post-game celebration show right here on the cheap seats. How are you? I'm going to start with BG, because I know I ignored you last remote. I know I ignored you right off the top, so I'm going to go to BG.
I don't have any voices. Everybody I talk to is confident. And they're Eagles fans, right? So you talk to people and they're confident. But the thing once you get to the Super Bowl is, how can you not be confident in your team? When I hear people pick their favorites in the national media, they sound so ridiculous. Because the same complaints you've been complaining about the entire year. Now, again, I'll put myself in there. I don't like Nick Sirianni. I'm not afraid to tell people that. But I had to shut up and bend the knee and keep my mouth quiet when he turned himself around and did the hokey pokey. And he's been doing well since then, so I had to stay quiet. But these same people that have been saying every week the Eagles are going to lose, the Eagles are going to do this, Jalen Hurts is not going to do this, Jalen Hurts is going to do that, and then you end up in the Super Bowl and they're using the same narrative for the Chiefs. How do you get to the Super Bowl then, dummy? So everybody I talk to has to be supremely confident. If you're an Eagles fan and you're not confident right now, jump out of a window. Don't do that because I don't want to be held liable. But, act like you're jumping out of a window and shut the LL Cool J up. Your team is in the Super Bowl. They're one of the 2 best teams in football right now. So why wouldn't you be confident and thinking they had a shot? If you don't, like I said, I can't help you now. It's too late now. You're on your own.
Too late to be
You're
scared.
on your own.
Jason Ashworth, how you feeling?
I feel great. I feel great for a variety of reasons. I told you earlier, when your team's playing, this is why we do this, right? When your team is playing in a game like this, the vibes are high. Like, good luck walking throughout town. Good luck getting into a conversation where you don't feel that juice, where it doesn't end in go birds. When you get on a horn with somebody, hey, how you doing? I told you this earlier. I get on the phone with people, hey, how you doing? How the hell you think I'm doing? Like, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. So for me, in terms of, like, Gritty, you just said that they're the 2 best teams, the 2 teams left standing. Look, I got news for you. The Eagles are the best team. I feel supremely confident in saying that. I'm not trying to poo-poo Kansas City. We know who Kansas City is.
No,
we know
we
Kansas
definitely
City
know.
is on the brink of greatness. We know that. I am supremely confident in this football team. I've said it all year. They're built different.
Yeah.
They're built for this. They're built for this moment. And now that they're here, I'm not going to get scared now. No. So like you said, it's that serene, that calm, that confidence. I get it. Don't puff your chest out too much. Like, I get it. But for me anyway, I'm going into this game saying, yeah, I expect a dub.
And that's the difference. Like, listen, when I say I'm confident, I'm not sitting here guaranteeing a win. I'm not sitting here going, we're going to smack around the Kansas City Chiefs. We all understand the task that's in front of us, the monumental task of stopping history. They're gunning for the three-peat, which, by the way, makes me feel like there's more pressure on them. There is more pressure on them to win because of that record than there is on us. I'm not saying we're playing with house money. We're supposed to be here. Like Jeffrey Lurie said in the post-NFC Championship game celebration speech, we expected to be here. We got a job to do. But I don't feel like the team's under the same kind of pressure that maybe the Kansas City Chiefs is. It's almost like when winning all the games except the last one, and you got the Miami Dolphins waiting to pop the champagne on you. That's pressure. They got pressure on them. We're just coming out to do a job that we know that we can do.
Look, both teams to a degree, it's a Super Bowl, right? So both teams feel that weight. Both teams know that, hey, it's win or go home. Like that it is what it is. It's down to the final two. I understand that. A lot of the chatter, to your point, has been, well, Kansas City Chiefs on the brink of greatness. As I said, they're going to do that three-peat. They got Patrick Mahomes, who's arguably a GOAT. You have Andy Reid, who's arguably the GOAT as a head coach. You got Steve Spagnuolo, who's arguably a GOAT. Who's arguably a GOAT in terms of assistant coaching. Mm-hmm. I got news for you. The Eagles, it's more than just they expect to be here. It's like Pete Mitchell in Top Gun, where he said, you're right, Iceman. I am dangerous. Right? Because the Eagles are dangerous.
They are.
For as much as everybody wants to worry about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs have to worry about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Because the Eagles are dangerous. It's not a matter of can the Eagles beat the Chiefs, just as much as that can the Chiefs beat the Eagles. I said I'm supremely confident. It's going to be a toe-to-toe slugfest.
And we're gonna do a season recap because I feel like it's important to kind of look back at the journey because that's the enjoyable part, right? Is the journey on how we got here. But it's the same. What you're saying is the same thing that Nick Sirianni was asked after the Baltimore game, which is how did you match the Ravens' intensity? How did you match their physicality? Whoa. We didn't have to match theirs. They failed to match ours.
Right.
Like that, and I think Kansas City knows that in the quest to three-peat, just like Tom Brady and all those Super Bowls, they're going into the Super Bowl for the first time with not the same team that they had when they won the previous two.
Yeah, so just for the record, just so people watching and for you guys to know, like sometimes I laugh at things and people might think that I'm laughing at them or something they say. You said Andy Reid GOAT, Mahomes GOAT, and I laugh at that because, man, I just love propaganda and narratives, right? So Patrick Mahomes couldn't beat Tom Brady. Tom Brady leads the AFC, now he's running the AFC. He met Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, couldn't beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Andy Reid, same issue. I mean, you couldn't beat him over there. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the GOAT, and I don't even like him because he cheats. But now all of a sudden we've done put this echelon in these words. Again, that's not you. That's the media.
I'm
that's
repeating
everybody.
what
everybody says. He can't be the GOAT. Neither one of them can be the GOAT. They're trying to push that narrative to get this legacy to go in their way. But I mean, Tom Brady, who I hate with all my heart. Every woman I know in my life that has ever blessed me with a little bit of time will tell you F Tom Brady, whether they watch sport or not. That's the one thing I teach them first. Before Go Birds, it's F Tom Brady. So the fact that now all of a sudden he can win a three-peat and be the GOAT. Well, Joe Montana's the GOAT. He went 4 for 4, never lost. I thought that's what Jordan made Jordan the GOAT, okay? He Mr. Three-peat 2 times. But all of a sudden now, if he wins this game, he's the GOAT. So what I'm telling you right now, if you're an Eagles fan, he said he ain't guaranteeing nothing. I'm guaranteeing every damn thing. When Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts is now the GOAT. Because in 2 out of 5 years, he's gone to 2 Super Bowls. He lost 1 to the great Patrick Mahomes. But unlike Patrick Mahomes, his balls were big enough to beat his nemesis. Mahomes could never beat Brady. He's lucky that punk retired, okay? So I don't want to hear nothing about no GOAT, no woke. I'm cooking lamb out here. I swear to Jiminy Christmas. I can't wait till Jalen Hurts quote novel and history book, his children's book, comes out because I'm sick and tired of the general narrative. Andy Reid, you choked away half your life, and now with 50% of it, you want to be the GOAT? No, sir. No, sir. I apologize. Carry on what you're talking about. I just want to let you know that I wasn't laughing at you.
No,
I'm laughing at the narrative.
It is awful warm on the right side of my body right now.
It's Super Bowl week. He's got heat.
Gritty is absolutely bringing the fire today and pulling no punches. We're over here calm, serene, calm, moment of zen. Gritty is absolutely ready to go to war down there in the world.
Look, like I said, the GOAT couldn't beat the GOAT. How are they trying to have this conversation? When no one could beat Tom Brady, Manning couldn't do it. None of these guys could do it. And the Eagles, my last thing I'll say before we get into business. The AFC is so tough. The AFC is so tough. Well, guess what? Jim Kelly lost 4 Super Bowls. The AFC been pretty easy because he kept running through them until he got to the NFC. So you mean to tell me Josh Allen choke artist, Lamar Jackson choke artist? I don't care what you say. You're choking because the only one that can get past you is Joe Burrow. So don't tell me somebody can't do it. You let a young punk lion cigarette smoking LSU punk Thundercat beat you, but these other scorned veterans that are better than my quarterback can't do it. My guy went toe-to-toe, blow-flow, lost by 3 points, and a ref call. I don't want to hear a damn thing about the freaking Chiefs and the refs or anything Patrick Mahomes has done, because again, when my guy wins this Super Bowl, I don't care if he throws for -3 yards, you better get on your knees and get your mouth open and ready to go. That's the last thing I want to say because I'm upset. I'm sick and tired of it.
With that, we thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Cheat Seats. We will likely be canceled after this episode.
Hey, I didn't say anything. If you're thinking it, that's on you. That sounds like a personal problem, all right? I'm just giving close to imagery.
The whole crew, everybody who's responsible for decision-making right now is out there in New Orleans. So let's while the cat's away, the mice will play.
We got delay? Can we hit a delay?
At least at Parks Casino. Listen, guys, I feel like it's important to reflect on the journey that got us here, because right now we're focused on the game, we're focused on the Super Bowl, we're focused on the Super Bowl. But it's the journey to get there that's the enjoyable part, right? That's the memorable part. And speaking of being memorable, I was talking to somebody I don't want to be the name dropper guy, but I was talking to somebody at NovaCare, just casual conversation, talking about uniforms.
Sprinkling that out there a little bit.
A little bit, just casual conversation.
No big deal.
Talking about uniforms, and hey, is there any chance that the Eagles might wear Kelly green in the Super Bowl? They said, nah, absolutely not. We did it twice. And I was like, yeah, we did it for the meaningless Cowboys game, which is unfortunate that it didn't mean anything. And then we both had an awkward 10-second pause and thought to ourselves, wait, when the hell did we – what was the other game that we wore the Kelly green? And then we – oh, yeah, the Jags. And then there was another awkward 5-second pause. When the hell did we play the Jags? I don't know about you guys, but this – you know how the month of January felt like it was 90 days long, like it just didn't stop? This season has felt like 2 calendar years. It really has. And I want to just take a moment, because I wrote down some notes, to just kind of reflect on the games. Week 1 versus the Packers in Brazil. Terrible field. We won 24-19. Jalen had 3 TDs, 2 picks. I think the headlines coming out of that game were kind of like Jalen and the bad decision making. Although you take away those errant throws or those interceptions, which were head scratchers at the time, he played a pretty good game. Saquon broke off 3 touchdowns, one in the passing game, which was an unbelievable catch. And Bond had a sack about that final play. What do you remember about that opener?
You going to me?
Yeah.
Well, I have an eidetic memory, so I remember everything. But I'll give you one thing. Quinyon Mitchell was the man that I said he was from game 1, from day 1, that everybody was talking about in training camp. He was out there talking trash and shutting down his corner and section of the field. It was magic to watch him get in those wide receivers' faces, and it was electric. And the defense stood up in the red zone over and over again with those turnovers. And that's when you're like, huh?
That's right.
Okay.
In the first quarter, those goal line, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Those goal line stands that really saved that game. But also, too, it's like it was a little taste of like, is this what this defense can be? Is this what this defense can look like? Because I thought for sure as shit they were scoring on those 2 drives.
Yeah. Yep. And they did not. They held up. They put the wall up. And I don't even have notes. Put that in your notes. The defense had a wall.
You got a glimpse of that defense, absolutely. I got a glimpse of Saquon Barkley in an Eagles uniform. I got a glimpse of, oh, wait a minute. That's what this offense can look like? Because we saw that, and I think we were waiting for that moment. Like it was almost like when T.O. showed up week 1 against the Giants and there was 3 touchdowns, and we're like, oh, that guy's going to help this year.
Yeah.
When you got Saquon in the uni and he busted out in Brazil and 3 scores, we're like, oh, hold on, that's what this offense is going to look like this year? Okay, I dig it.
Love it. Week 2 versus our loss, our first loss of the season. Obviously a loss that's like had us in an absolute panic mode, because this is where you look at Nick Sirianni and you say, are you calling the right plays? Are you making the right decisions at the end of the game? This is where Barkley drops a pass. Cousins to London with like 34 seconds left. Maybe Nick should have gone for it and tried to take the field goal. It was one of those games that we lost. It was unfortunate. We could have won, but it had us already in week 2 sitting at 1-1, kind of questioning the entire thing.
Nick overdid his job. He didn't trust the defense. The defense didn't trust themselves. It was a tight game. And just like Saquon and the catch, they got butterfingers. And I blame that game on Nick.
So, yeah, we started questioning Nick. I watched that game, actually. This is when I missed, when I was on my little golf trip.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in Wisconsin. So
Yep,
I watched, actually, this football game from Wrigley Field. I was catching a Cubs game while I was out there. So I caught some of the game from Wrigley Field, then went to a stadium bar or whatever to watch it. This is also a time where we thought Atlanta was going to be a contender. We thought Atlanta might be the real deal based on the weapons on offense, Kirk Cousins, but we didn't know who Atlanta was. But we left this game questioning Nick, but also in the back of our mind knowing, no, that one was in the bag. Saquon's going to make that. But, okay, we lost that game versus we were beat. That was at least my mentality.
But that defense did give it up at the end of the game. Defense did give it up at the end of the game.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, because they marched right down the field, didn't they?
They did.
They
You
marched right down the
forget
field.
about
Yeah.
these things.
Fangio still does that prevent thing that he does. He did it to the Rams. Like, bro, we're up. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're in prevent. Keep doing what you've been doing. Be aggressive.
Yeah.
Sometimes that bites you in the butt. And luckily we pulled out that win, but he did not learn that lesson, that game, in that quarter. Because that's the exact same thing that happened. You go up, you feel like, oh, okay. You play a little prevent, and they dog walk us. And it was, lucky, whatever, America.
That's the same thing you got to learn from I know Vic wasn't there at the time, but that second half collapse in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs a couple years ago. If you got a lead on them, and that's what I appreciate about this team, and I'm sure we're going to get to one of those games where they start sinking in the choke, and they tighten it up a little bit more, and they tighten it up a little bit more, and they tighten it up a little bit more, and they just bleed out the clock and beat you. Week 3, speaking of like who we thought were contenders, remember the time when we went down to New Orleans after the Saints dog walked 2 teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, which we thought at the time was really impressive. A win 15-12, obviously an ugly game. Jalen Carter and CJ wanted to fight everybody on the field. Barkley and Goddard tag team the thing at the end of the game. Jalen checks into that play. Long play to Dallas Goddard. Smith had the concussion in that game. I don't know if you remember that one. And pissed off the entire team. And that was didn't Saquon break out that run?
Well, Goddard was the one who flew down the sideline.
No, but
the first touchdown run.
Yeah, the first touchdown run.
Yes.
First touchdown run immediately following. And then you saw, with that, you kind of saw glimpses of how this team fights for one another, how this team plays for one another, how this team, no matter what quarter it is and how much they're down or how ugly the game has been, they're going to still keep doing what they do in order to win.
I just remember this is like the soliloquy I started with. In the beginning of the season, how are the Philadephia Eagles going to beat the Saints? The Saints have scored 116 points in 2 games. Did you see it? Derek Carr was moonwalking and grabbing his crotch on people. What are the Eagles going to do?
Yeah.
15-12. Shut up.
If I remember, it was 2 40 burgers that the Saints put up. Now, if I would have told you the Saints who would put up 40 in back-to-back weeks, and then the Eagles are going to go through the first 3 quarters with how many points? 0.
Yeah.
You would have said, oh, no, not a chance. 15 points they put up in the fourth quarter to take that dub. That was just one of those first, okay, it's not always going to be pretty, but this team is gritty. Not black gritty, just gritty.
I love it. And then week 4 came to the game that had me dropping F-bombs on PHLY the following show. Tampa Bay, who Todd Bowles seemingly continuously and never-endingly, I know that's not a word, but never-endingly seems to have our number. 33-16 we lost. Baker Mayfield goes off for 347 yards, four touchdowns, or I'm sorry, two touchdowns. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 287 yards to the Philadephia Eagles, 67 yards at the half. They were without A.J. Brown, without Smith, which, speaking of like Jalen Hurts riding the coattails or the passing game isn't what it. Look at how they played without A.J. or Smitty. And they got absolutely. This is the game that had the entire city, the entire fan base in an absolute panic.
Well, that's what happens when DeVonta Smith asked Mike Evans about Fortnite in the middle of a game. That's what pissed me off the most about that game. For as bad as they played, and then the mic'd up sessions come out, and you got, at the time, he was our starting safety at the time. He was one of our two starting safeties at the time, I believe.
Who's that?
Fact check me. Avonte Maddox.
Yeah.
Right? And, we're getting dog walked by Tampa. And he's over here chummying up to Mike Evans, asking about, yo, you still run Fortnite? You still run Fortnite? Like, bro, where is your head at? For me, that was my first, and I left that game the same way you did, saying, ain't right. Nick's got to go. Something needs to change. Head into the bye, because that was our week before the bye. Head into the bye, make some changes, try to course correct this thing.
Mid-play Slay was also a part of that, too.
True.
Out there being buddy-buddy, hanging out with people, wanting to dance and talk about stuff. I'm like, bro, why is Quinyon the only one out here he was talking so much trash to
I remember that.
The rookie.
Yeah, the rookie was the one acting like a veteran.
He had him going on the sideline like, yo, you hear this kid's talking to me? This kid's talking to me. He don't know who I am. Because it doesn't matter who you are when I'm covering you. You ain't nobody.
Yeah.
You ain't catch one ball over here. I know Evans. Trust me, I watched the film tape, homie. But on this side, it's Guantanamo Bay. You ain't catching nothing. So the fact that is what made a lot of people angry, because you can have all the people missing, and you understand that. When A.J. Brown doesn't play, the Eagles don't win. I know everybody wants to say, Saquon Barkley is okay. Well, if you don't have A.J. Brown, this team doesn't win anything. But the way they lost and the way they carried themselves is what made everybody upset. So Nick Coulter had to get right in that bye week because of that.
It's attitude. They needed an attitude adjustment on the field.
So that was probably one of the biggest pivotal moments in the season, as far as we either have to course correct now or this whole season's going to go down the tank. We all bitched and complained, pissed and moaned when we looked at the schedule and saw the Week 5 bye. But I think we could just jump over Week 5 and say that, man, that bye came at the exact right time.
No doubt.
Then there was another pivotal game. Not against who you were expecting. Week 6 at home versus the Browns, 20-16. We beat them. Sirianni starts the Baldiani phase, the Baldiani era. Brittaniani. Starts chirping at the fans. Future Eagle Myles Garrett jumps over, block, whatever. He's the only one who played well. But nevertheless, the Eagles just kind of squeak by the Cleveland Browns 20-16 at home. He's got the kids on the podium looking like Private Pile, chirping at the fans. This was, after the Tampa Bay game, this was another pivotal moment, because I felt like this is the time that the team rallied around the coach. Because the coach was out there taking bullets. The coach was out there pulling his hair, cutting his hair, doing whatever it is with his hair over this team and how they're winning, yelling at the fans. And this was kind of, you saw Brandon Graham and you saw the other leaders of the team like said, hey, we need 22 Nick back. Remember they were saying that? We need 22 Nick back.
Nick Sirianni jumped in a 40-foot pit and said, oh no, how did I get in here? Somebody help me out. He did it to himself.
Yeah.
You're yelling at fans. You buzz your head. Your children are a shield. You deserved every single arrow that you got. You put yourself in a hole. And by the grace of God, that he is apparently a good coach and a good unifier of men, that the team linked together and linked arms and went down in that pit and got him out. And when he got out, Howie said, you jump in the pit again, and I'm filling it with dirt. Jump in the pit again, and I'm filling it with dirt. You did this to yourself. Something has to change. And it did change after that.
And you might have a point there, because I'm sure Sirianni got to talk. Because if you look at the rest of the schedule, which we're going to get to, but if you look at the rest of the schedule, like, when has Nick Sirianni had a bad presser? When has Nick Sirianni said the wrong thing? When has Nick Sirianni not been like, hey, we're boring, we just run the ball, whatever, keeping the main thing that we're getting 1% better every day? Like, Nick Sirianni has had the most consistent, straight-edge press conferences since he got hired as a Philadelphia Eagles head coach after that game.
Well, let me spin something else back, because we're talking about where that was a big change for Nick. That was a big change for that defense. I earmarked that game, and I look at that defense. If you remember, that was a 13-13 game in the fourth quarter. Jalen marches them down the field. They go up 20-13. They take the lead. Cleveland comes right back. And Gritty, I don't have the memory you do, but if I remember, they were inside the 5-yard line with a chance to tie the game up.
I don't remember any of this.
Holds. Defense holds yet again.
Damn.
Only a field goal. That's how it ends up 20-16. The defense did their job for me. And then just look at all the games that follow that. For me, that's where that defense kind of came together. Again, coming out of a bye. That's where that defense came together and really started taking that next step to becoming an elite defense in the NFL. So for as much as we can look at, that's where they rallied around that coach. They also rallied around that defense, to me, starting that week.
They're lucky that was Deshaun's last game that he played and we didn't get the magic of Jameis Winston, because that wouldn't have happened.
But it did.
Jameis Winston, by the way, did you
Can't
see
play
him?
that if game now.
Yo, did you see him at media day just begging for a job?
Do you see what Saquon said?
Begging for a job?
Oh, come on. Come on.
He and Micah Parsons are the most low-key, I want to be on the Eagles so bad.
Nah, you know what?
But Jameis is in a position where he can openly ask for it.
I think Jameis is just that dude. I think Jameis is just that charismatic. I think Jameis, there's a reason all his teammates, for whatever team he plays for, loves him. I thought the way he approached the interviews was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love the answer that Saquon gave in terms of when Jameis was like, hey, Saquon, if I need a job, who can I go get a job with? Saquon say, I hear the Giants need a quarterback. Oh, my word.
Man,
oh,
roasted.
my word.
Roasted. I was like,
that.
damn.
I love that. Yeah, actually, you put that out.
Yeah,
you put that out.
Damn.
I loved that.
Jameis is going to have a very bright future ahead of him in any sort of broadcasting medium that he wants to. He doesn't have to play the game no more. If
he made an appearance on Kelsey's show, on Jason Kelsey's show.
Did he?
Yeah, did well, too.
Nice. Week 7 at New York Giants, Saquon goes off for 176 yards. AJ on that fourth down play, that bomb. Execution was absolutely flawless. If you remember correctly, too, this is when we started to really see the team mentality, the generosity on the part of Saquon Barkley, when it was like, hey, man, you're close to your personal rushing high.
Yeah.
What do you want to do here? You want to go back out? You want to go do this thing? And he goes, no, you let the young guys eat.
Rookie mistake.
You were at that game.
I was.
You were at that game.
Yeah, some guy, the mayor took me, and it was a nice game to watch.
I know what you guys are doing.
I wasn't even. It was so weird because watching a blowout was like 28-4, 28-2. Watching that blowout, I was so bored watching everyone cheer because I'm like, man, the Giants are bad.
The bad.
And for like 3 seconds, I was like, not only are you bad, you're getting destroyed. And who knew that it would go even deeper and worse than it got at that moment? At that moment, it was like, you didn't re-sign Saquon. And then it'd be like, you didn't re-sign Saquon? Then it was like a funeral. You didn't re-sign Saquon?
Dude, the vibe in that stadium.
Oh, God.
Sure. It was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Deflated.
It was all Eagles fans by the third quarter. At halftime, everybody went and got their snacks and went home. They were like, you know what, I'm going to get this hot dog and just roll back to the parking lot.
Giants fans, we were trolling. We were just chanting Saquon Barkley, EAGLES in his face, making fun of anybody with a Saquon Barkley Giants jersey on, and they had nothing. You could tell they just had you could tell it was just not only do we suck now, this is going to continue to suck, and we don't even know when we're not going to suck, which is in a rare position for New York Giants fans to be. It was absolutely phenomenal. Enjoyed it. Week 8 at the Bengals. This was like the first test of like, okay, should be, at the time, a Super Bowl contending team. Little underperforming, right? But it's still Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, and this should be a test. And I guarantee you, more people than not watching and listening right now, when the schedule came out, you took a look at that Bengals game and you circled it and like, yeah, that's going to be an L, along with some others that we'll get to. But that's going to be an L. It was a 37-17 ass whipping. Hurts 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Yes, that's what Hurts gives you. Smith, 85 yards. AJ had 84 yards. It was like the first real kind of contender litmus test for the Philadelphia Eagles to say, hey, listen, how good are you really?
It was, if you remember that game, Joe Burrow came out firing. Joe Burrow on the first drive of the game marched all the way, did exactly anything and everything he wanted to do on that opening drive.
Tampa Bay playbook. Quick.
Right?
Quick.
Right, and the Eagles couldn't do anything to stop it. So that was the first game where I looked at it and, okay, hold on, you held, especially after that opening series, you held Joe Burrow to 17. And then you mentioned we had that circled as, hey, let's earmark this game now because it's going to mean something. It was one of those first times during the season where I would come into the studio and say, all right, no. There's something about this team. This is one of those signature wins where you're saying, all right, let's pay attention. Because in years past, I don't know that the Eagles come out on top. In years past, I don't know if they're built to win those types of games. They did it convincingly, which had me saying, all right, you have my attention.
Good.
First of all, ooh.
You're very sexual today.
I am very sexual.
Is this what Super Bowl vibes do to you?
Somebody's about to get worked with no lube on Sunday, and I'm excited about it. But I'm saying, everybody's out here talking about Joe Burrow. Well, Joe Burrow, he's got a wide receiver with a triple crown. Joe Burrow, 5,000 yards. Joe Burrow, he's got the most touchdowns in the league. Joe Burrow. But when we play him, Joe Burrow sucks, and the team is 4-4, and they haven't beaten anybody. And what's going on? The Eagles think they're somebody. Well, guess what? Joe Burrow lost a lot of games, and why he did it, he worked every single team. Your Steelers, your Ravens, everybody in the AFC got worked by the dude who threw for the most yards, the most touchdowns, and Chase couldn't be stopped. But when he came to Philadelphia, he got put in the kennel again, Guantanamo Bay, and the defense stood up, and we get absolutely no credit for it. Everybody's praising Joe Burrow, who didn't make the playoffs, but my team gets talked about crazy. Yes, I'm trying to screw somebody on Sunday. I'm getting laid and paid. My bets are already in. Carry on with the schedule.
Man, keep in mind, I'm glad you said it like no respect, because if you keep it score at home, and you were there, you saw it, but if you keep it score at home, we're still yet to hit any sort of credibility.
Oh, of course.
Like it's been all right. You got lucky against the Packers in Brazil. You lost to the Falcons. New Orleans was a pretender. You got smoked by Tampa Bay. The Browns are nobody. The Giants are nobody. The Bengals aren't who we thought they were. Week 9 against Jacksonville at home. Kelly Green game win way closer than it should have been. 28-23. The Saquon hurdle.
That's all you need to know about that game. The Saquon hurdle.
The booty hop.
Kobe Dean seals the deal with a Jason Avant style.
Nick almost messed that game up too at the end.
Yeah, I remember this
and
one.
five takeaways in that beautiful Kelly Green. Again, though, I'm putting this one at the forefront because this was the Kelly Green game I was referencing in the beginning. But also, too, Week 9, we still have yet to get any respect in the National Football League. It's always a yeah, but or they're not as good as we thought they were. The Eagles aren't shit.
Yeah, let me throw a little highlighter on this one too because it's meaningful for this weekend. It's also one of those games where we realize we actually kind of do have a problem at kicker. We actually do kind of have an issue with Jake Elliott this year. I mean, we're not, how many, 9 weeks? Yeah, we're 9 weeks into the season. We still don't have a 50-yard kick. That accuracy, that efficiency, that ain't there this year. And I only say that because here we are in a Super Bowl, and people are talking about that. Like, will it come down to a big Jake Elliott kick? Do you have confidence in Jake Elliott? I only highlight that to say that's one of those games where Nick made a decision based on his confidence in his kicker.
Week 10 at Dallas, no Dak Prescott, 34-6. I got to be honest, I had to look up this game because I barely remember it.
It's Dallas.
This was the game best known as the Jerry Jones we should have put up the blinds game. You built that billion-dollar stadium, a multi-billion-dollar stadium, and the sun's in my eyes.
Got no curtains.
Any thoughts, Gritty?
Sometimes Jesus walks on earth, and he came down and shined the light on the Dallas Cowboys and their imperfections. And it was a beautiful, glorious day. You look at those pictures, it is majestic. Let the light shine in.
Week 11 versus Washington at home. We get Jaden Daniels, the rookie phenom, 28-6 victory. Frankie Louvu spiked Hurts. I forgot that Hurts got cleared to go back in, but was being examined for a concussion. So the Commanders and concussions seem to be a frequent or trying to hit a runner and try to give them a concussion. Seems to be an ongoing theme with Washington. Speaking of Jake Elliott, missed 2 field goals and 1 extra point. Blankenship, INT, Barkley, TD to seal the deal against Washington. What
Thursday night clip? I think that was a Thursday nighter.
That was a Thursday nighter, wasn't it?
Sure.
And I want to say, how did the game end? Didn't the defense come up with a big stop at the end?
Blankenship.
Was it Blankenship?
Got the INT.
Is that what I remember being a stopping them on 4th down for whatever. I don't know. I don't have your memory, but I just remember thinking, again, all right, defense. And that defense has become a running theme in a lot of these games. No surprise, right? They're the number 1 team in the league. But at the time, we don't know necessarily who they are and how the year's going to transpire. Just another game where I remember defense comes up big.
Week 12, here's where we start getting some respect. Again, I'll repeat. Week 12, here's where we start getting some respect. At the Rams, a win, 37-20, Saquon rushing record with 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 scores of 70-plus yards, and 302 total yards. I don't want to say that this was the Saquon Barkley coming out party, but this was the Saquon Barkley, you can't stop him. You just can't stop him party.
Yes.
Okay.
Cosign.
Moving on.
Actually, hold on. Let me help you out one more time. The Rams have finally gotten healthy, and they're going to go in there and show the Philadephia Eagles what it's all about. And their young defense is just coming on like lions. And the Cooper's back there, and Pope's coming back, and the Eagles are going to find out. Oh, and mind you, after they lost to us, they went on a 6-game winning streak against other punk losers, which gave them, again, their weird confidence going into the postseason. But who was the gap stop when they were healthy? The Philadephia Eagles.
And improved it once again in the Snow Bowl Part 2. Week 13 at Baltimore. I felt like this was the game. Baltimore Ravens down there.
You'll get it.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Down there in Baltimore. This is where I felt like they became legit contenders. The Cooper hit on King Henry. Nick Sirianni's quote after the game. We didn't have to match their physicality. They had to match ours. This is the first time I felt like the Eagles were actually getting like national respect as to, okay, these could be a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Well, and it's also the game where we checked that box, Gritty, because we said, okay, Patrick Mahomes got him, Joe Burrow got him, Josh Allen got him, Jared Goff got him, Tua, Stafford, Love. Now we got Lamar too. And where Jalen Hurts has beaten all these quarterbacks, and Lamar was kind of that guy who was, well, yeah, but you haven't beaten Lamar. And they go into Baltimore, he beats Lamar, just checks another name off the list, ho-hum, do as you do.
Week 14 versus Carolina, win 22-16. I don't remember a thing about this game.
Should have lost that game again. They passed down the line to Lakabaka Hakabaka, the guy that talks crazy.
Oh, wait a minute. This was the game that A.J. Brown said passing. What's wrong with the offense? Passing.
Yeah.
This was the game that kind of sparked
the Pittsburgh game. This is what sparked A.J. Brown in the Pittsburgh game.
All right. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah. You know what's funny, too? I saw Brandon Graham at Philly Sports Trips. Birds get
sprinkling it around. I was at the Novacare complex. I was just talking to a guy about some jerseys.
I was just casually talking to Brandon Graham.
By the way, I was right on that. I told you when he tapped me, he did the... I knew. I told you. I was right.
You're always right.
Came out the next day. I mean, inside of the year, people out here giving awards stuff. But I mean, I'm just a guy. I don't have the mayor E-Rock talent. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy. Just a guy.
He has zero regrets about saying what he said on the air.
Who, him?
VG.
100%.
100%. He's 100%. Like, I know I caught some heat for that, but I zero regrets because
it worked.
That's what he said, but it worked.
Yeah.
Things needed to be ironed out.
Yeah.
It worked. Zero regrets. People can say what they said about what I said on the air or how long I said it or however I said it. At the end of the day, it worked. And then Week 15 versus Pittsburgh, win 27-13. Jalen and AJ dancing after their first touchdown pass. Hurts threw for their 290 yards, highest regular season total, and came to the podium afterwards and said, "Is that what you all wanted to see?"
What was the most important thing about that game?
The win.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, they scored in the first quarter.
It took that long?
Eagles scored in the first quarter. They were having first quarter struggles.
Remember, they didn't score for 92 weeks.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
From
it was 2 years ago.
Season,
it feels like
from last season in, they had 12 straight games, no points in the first quarter. Like, not a field goal, not a nothing. And they came out there and they just started dog walking. And it's like, oh my God, we scored.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is what I wanted to see. Some early offense.
Week 16 at Washington, the loss heard round the world.
No, you skipped Pitt.
I skipped Pittsburgh.
That was the A.J. Brown game. force feed A.J. Brown because the passing game is struggling.
He said they were dancing.
Yeah, I said they were dancing.
Oh, you said they were dancing?
Yeah, I said they were dancing.
My fault.
We're in the home stretch, folks. Week 16 at Washington, the loss heard around the world, at least for Commanders fans who thought they were winning the Super Bowl.
Sure.
After, Jalen Hurts goes out.
And CJ gets kicked out of the game for talking.
And Kenny has broken ribs midway through the third quarter.
Yep.
They celebrated like they won the Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl.
And Smitty dropped the ball he never drops. He catches so many fake catches. For him to drop that ball, it sent me. It sent me.
Any particular memory of that game?
Just pissed off after
Just
it. Just pissed off.
And I think they were too. Gritty.
No, I just said it. Smitty usually catches that ball.
And week 17 and 18 really don't matter because by that time we were resting starters. It is notable against Dallas that Barkley went over his 2,000 yards.
41-7. You're missing. See, your notes are just so incomplete, bro. You're missing that when Micah Parsons said, if we didn't let them score the other touchdowns, we really could have won that game. If you take away the first 5 plays of touchdowns, the math adds up -7. I forget exactly what he said, but it worked out. It made sense when he said it.
And then the New York Giants at the end of the season in a meaningless game.
Let me give you a little bow.
Okay.
You want a bow?
I want a bow. Please bow.
So we just went down that schedule,
Yeah.
right? And if you look at it, dub. The Eagles, not my stat. Okay, I'm going to give credit where credit's due, Mr. Sal Palantonio. This schedule, Eagles went 5-0 on turf. Defense gives up under 12 points a game on turf. Where are the Eagles playing on Sunday?
Turf.
Fast track. This team plays well on a fast track, and that schedule we just ran down is evidence of that. Just going to put a little bow on that schedule and how that ties into Sunday. Just be aware these boys play differently indoors or on turf.
I love it. What are you doing for the game?
Huh?
What are you doing for the game?
I'm sitting at home.
Sitting at home?
Yep.
No lube.
Sitting at home. There's gonna be lube. I'm not sitting alone.
Why are we doing
I'm not
this?
sitting alone. I'm
Why
having
are we
company.
doing this?
Sitting having company.
Tons of lube.
See, unlike you, I can't make a decision. I got invited to too many parties. People tried to pay me to come out and hang out. I couldn't make a decision. And I thought to myself, I just want to be home where it's safe and sound. So when we win and I scream, no one's calling the cops to come and save me. So I'll be happy. So don't watch it and be happy. Nice and chill.
Home. Scream at the TV. What about you, Jay?
Home, man.
What is everybody doing?
No, look. There was a quasi invite, if you will.
Okay.
Quasi invite to go out to New Orleans, right? I turned it down for multiple reasons. If you go to a game of this magnitude, you've been to a Super Bowl, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went to one years ago. Wasn't the Eagles? If I'm going to an Eagles Super Bowl, I want to watch it with Eagles fans. Super Bowls tend to be more corporate than anything. Yeah. I want to watch it with Eagles fans. And on top of that, I don't think that I could enjoy the game at a Super Bowl without Pops. I don't feel like I would be able to. I would feel dirty and kind of guilty that the guy who made me a Birds fan isn't with me to experience like this pinnacle, right? So I said, no, I'll be in my basement. Me and my girl, I have a couple select friends over. I'll most likely have my sister and my nephew over. He's a big Eagles fan, so I like to cultivate that. Just family and some close friends, man, in the basement where I live.
I love it. Nobody Broad Street, nothing, nobody.
So
no
one. I've already done that. We won a Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. I loved it with all my heart.
Okay.
But you know what I don't love? And I'm like, yo, they're still playing the game, okay? I don't like when you go to a house party. I really don't watch football, but I watch the Super Bowl. What's a first down?
Yeah.
I also don't like the random weirdo that walks in with a red jersey that I might have to drop an elbow on because apparently he thinks he's a Chiefs fan in the middle of Westchester. Like, bro, you're a DJ, you're the mayor, okay?
Yeah.
I'm usually in these streets. Give me a day off being in these streets, okay? I want to be home and comfortable. I also got a little bit of content to make. I got to get these views, baby. And it's hard when I'm in these streets, drunk and going crazy. So I'm leaving it to you, Captain DJ. I know you got going on. I know you got a party.
What are you doing? What are you doing for the Super Bowl?
My parents' house, yeah.
Are they having a party or are they?
They're family party.
Family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but isn't that what it's about?
It's about family.
Isn't that what it's about?
Listen, it's 100% about.
You're going to be on Broad Street, aren't you?
I'm going to be on Broad Street. I'm going to be. I was just reminiscing about like the last Super Bowl. I was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I went with Philly Sports Trips, and it was a great time. And I'm glad I went. And I checked that box. I don't think I'll ever go to another Super Bowl again, because it's exactly what you said. It's too corporified. It's good to go. If you've never been, it's good to go. But 2017 was the best night of my life. Rented out a bar, hosted a party right off of Broad Street. You win it, everyone starts pouring into Broad Street. Best night of my life. I need that again like I need oxygen. I had the opportunity to go down again, turned it down. Because like you said, I don't want to be away from family.
Yeah.
And that was the toughest part about being in Arizona, man. Like, walking into that stadium, I'm not too proud to admit, crying. I'm away from my family. I'm away from my wife. I'm away from my kids. I'm away from my parents. I'm away from my brothers. I'm away from everybody. It was hard for me. Like, even security was like, walking into the stadium, they were like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm FaceTiming my mom, just crying. Oh, my God. Going into the Super Bowl, the security had to ask me if I was okay.
You cried going into the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. No, I was crying going into the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to punk you too bad about it. I cried after the Super Bowl. I watched it in South Philly with my buddy Drew. His father passed away. My father passed away. We were like, you know what? Let's watch it together.
Yeah.
We went to Super Bowl. We both look up. You know what I mean? We cried for like 30 minutes, and then we went out in the street. And you don't have to be on Broad Street, by the way. If you're in Philadelphia, just walk outside your house, and you will be surrounded by everyone else who lives near you. You will not find yourself. It took me 3 hours to get to Broad Street to get to the bridge. Then it took me another 2 hours to cross over Broad Street to get home. It took me 5 hours to get. That's what I'm saying, bro. The party won't stop. Yeah, you ain't the man. You gonna wake up in the middle of the street with paper and confetti in your nostrils. I enjoy that for me, brother.
Look, and that goes outside of Philly too. Even if you're not downtown, if you're in the burbs, I live in the burbs.
Yeah.
You go outside. After that, after an Eagles win, like we did in 2017, whole neighborhood flocks to the streets. Everybody crying and chanting and hugging, and we're all a little banged up and tuned up, but the vibes are high. I mean, I remember that just as much as the game. I'm not downtown. I'm not on Broad Street. And yes, I think I would absolutely love that experience if I was with my close friends, my close family, who the people I genuinely want to wrap my arms around and celebrate with, right? Those who have been through the bullshit, a part of being an Eagles fan, to kind of get on top of that mountain, right? Those are the people that I want to be around. And also, I stay home because I like to protect the crazy. I like to hide the crazy from me. I'm the one who I pace.
Yeah.
And
you can't
I,
sit still.
I can't. And I look like the crazy guy in the background, just walking back and forth. And if something big happens and I happen to be doing something, I got to keep doing that. I got to keep doing that. And I don't know how well that would show for people who don't know me in a big moment. So I keep the crazy under the roof.
Yeah, I'm going to be hosting a party. I'm teaming up with Club 215, which is Malik, DJ Cav, Angelique, all of them, at Tradesman's, which is right like 1 block away from Broad Street.
Oh, wow.
So if you're going to party on Broad Street, look for your boy going absolutely bananas on Broad and Chestnut.
You got to host it?
Like,
do you have to be on a mic
with them. I have to be
during
on the
game?
mic. Nah, commercial breaks, a couple contests, a couple. Nah, listen, this is my wheelhouse.
All right.
I want to be on the mic.
He's a professional.
Like if I had to go to a game like this, or watch a game like this, or be at a party in a game like this, and I didn't have the mic in my hand, or I didn't have my fingers on the buttons of what song to play, on how to do it, DJs make the worst critics of DJs. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I wouldn't play this song with that. Nah, this is the wrong song for that period of time. I'd rather be at the wheel.
Fair.
That's
I don't want to think about
am.
anything but football.
But the way I thought about this, I had the opportunity to go. I hosted a party. All these people showed up. I'm just doing this Super Bowl for me. It's me, my wife, Mark, who was here the last time we did the remote, and his wife, and that's the crew. So I am literally taking the Super Bowl and just like, this is for me. This is what I love to do. DJ and all that stuff, throwing the part. Once 00s hit, I don't give a shit about you people anymore. I'm out on Broad Street. I can't wait to do it. I absolutely can't wait to do it. You said you had like a weird superstition, like you pace, you keep pacing. Do you have any? Do you have any like other weird superstitions for the game?
I mean, yeah, I wear the same clothes, if that matters. Like so I got the same outfit, the same exact outfit I'm going to wear that when we smoked the Commanders in 2017. I wore the same underwear and socks. I didn't wash them. I didn't wash them for the playoffs. It's not my problem. We hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. Like, what am I supposed to do?
There's a camera.
What
right
was
there.
I supposed to do? It's not like I wore them for 3 straight weeks, but those are coming off. I'll see you next Sunday. I just had to do it. And don't get mad at me.
Oh, my God.
Did we deliver a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Did I do my part?
But I don't think
Did I do my job?
I guess.
Yes. There's no I guess. Don't worry, I've grown past that. I got a Super Bowl, so I've washed my socks and boxers, but I will be wearing the same outfit that I wore before. I will be pacing. I will be doing my same manic activities.
So
for you, for the good of you.
For the good of me. So for the good of me, you're sitting directly to my left.
Oh, these are clean,
Am
fresh.
Thank God.
Fresh.
Thank God. I was starting to worry here. I didn't know if you were
I just
wearing
put
the
these
same.
on 3 days ago.
I didn't know if you
Fresh.
Gritty, do you got any weird superstitions?
The caucasity of this conversation.
I know. I know.
What are you talking about? You have traditions. You have superstitions. Everybody does in their own quirky way.
I don't.
Really?
I
Nothing.
don't.
You just go about your life.
I sure do.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you, there was 2 or 3 of these games where I went and took a nap because I knew they weren't going to score in the first quarter. Woke up middle of the second quarter. Like, I'm not even watching the game. I watch it on fast forward.
Can't
you know,
do it.
people, with my content's like that, people are like, man, you watch everything. You consume so much content. Most of the content I consume is at 2.5 speed. Every podcast I watch is at 2.5. When I watch The Facility and
So
I'm
they all
listening to
sound
somebody,
like the Chipmunks?
yep. I watch everything 2.5. So sometimes, like a game, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go take a nap real quick because they ain't doing nothing. I'll go to sleep for 15, 20 minutes. I wake up. Now I'm in the thick of it. And I just catch up at 2.5. I catch up in the speed of light. Like, I don't have any. I'm the type of person, I sat in a jail cell once, great story to tell, and I took a nap. The officer came in and said, are you really just in here sleeping? I'm like, well, what else am I supposed to do? Like, people get here cry, they pace, she's like, you asked for a blanket and you went to sleep. I'm like, yeah, what else am I going to do? I got out in half an hour.
Do I even want to ask?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Long story short.
Short story long. Come
Your
on.
Honor.
Wrong place, wrong time.
That's what they are. I got the wrong guy.
Case in point, my brother had a warrant. It was a $54 warrant. They took everybody out of the house. And they're like, well, you've got a warrant. I'm like, I don't have a warrant. I know I didn't do anything wrong. And if I did, I got money. I'll get myself out. They handcuffed my brother to a radiator. They put me in a cell. My brother's like, how come I can't I get a cell? And I just went to sleep. I slept for 4 hours. I woke up. They let me go. They're like, we're going to have an officer take you home. I was like, well, can I get my brother? They're like, well, he has a ticket. I'm like, how much is the ticket? They're like, $54. I'm like, can I take my brother home too?
Oh my God!
I don't, dude.
Did he go home?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't stress about stuff. I don't
What
worry
in the
about stuff.
caucasity? That is the
Caucasity.
Yeah, but what would be the inverse?
I mean, you're not allowed to say it.
I know.
And I'm not going to give it to you because I don't want you thinking about it. I can't trust you. I can't trust you. You'll be walking around all day in the bathroom like,
You know
what?
From prison stories on to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Super Bowl. Guys, give me your thoughts on the game. What do the Eagles got to do to win this game? Do they got to just stick to the game plan, to stick to the same script, play the same ball that they've been playing, or do they got to? What's your take on this game?
I mean, yes, stick to the script. Do what you've been doing. Most importantly, don't turn the football over. I think that's the most important thing. If the Eagles don't turn the football over, they win the football game. I believe that. Turner, they've been doing it all postseason. It's led to a ton of success. You've seen the way that defense forces turnovers. Don't get cued on offense. You're bread and butter, right? Jalen's gonna have to throw the ball. You're not gonna. I think that defense, Kansas City's defense, will get tested, and Saquon is going to eat. But you're not going to win the football if Jalen can't throw it at all. He's going to have to use his arm. I think if he does that, if he can put some flow, some ebb and flow into the offense, and as Tom Brady said, keep him in rhythm, keep him on time, it just makes him tough, man. I really think it makes him tough. So don't turn the football over. Play your game. It's just that simple to me.
Answer your own question. You go first.
I think they got to stick to the same game. You know, I'm listening to the radio on the way in, and it's like, what kind of Jalen Hurts do we need to see?
Oh, hold on, wait 1 second. I'm Spike Eskin. I need Jalen Hurts to throw for 600 yards and do everything possible to win the Super Bowl on his own. Because if Jalen doesn't do it, the Eagles can't do it. I know Saquon's there, but Jalen Hurts has to throw for 92 touchdowns. And if he doesn't, he'll be crucified in the city for the rest of his life.
Bro.
I apologize.
What the hell happened? Where is this gritty bit? I love Super Bowl gritty.
Yeah, Super Bowl Gritty
Hype.
is unhinged. He was taking a nap at the sports book when I walked into this
Of course he
place.
was taking a nap.
Well, yeah, if you can take a nap in prison, I guess you can take a nap anywhere. My man DC Darrell just texted me and goes, "What the hell is going on this pod?" I said, "I don't know when exactly you
We've
tuned
got
in,
no idea.
but it was prison stories and Gritty's going off on loot. I don't.
Oh, wow.
But for me, what's that?
No, you're not a basketball head. Never mind.
Okay, for me, you stick to the run game, and Steve Spagnuolo is bringing the heat. He's bringing the pressure. And if there's one thing that we've learned about the Eagles over the last 2 seasons is at times they don't handle pressure well, a la when we take a look at Week 4 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Todd Bowles. I need, them stick to the run game, but also to high percentage rhythm throws.
Yeah.
Let A.J. Brown and Smith and the weapons get the ball in their hands quickly and the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands quickly. Because you know that I don't even have to spell out the Kansas City Chiefs defensive game plan. They're bringing the pressure. That's what they're known for. That's what they're going to do. They're going to do it in a variety of ways, a la the way the Rams did it against the Vikings and how we were concerned about the Rams coming into the building. They're going to have those blitz beaters, those protection calls. They're going to have to be on their A game because they're going to be bringing the heat.
They will, and Gritty, I'll get to you. That's going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is going to get sacked. They are going, to an extent, stop the run at times. Like, Kansas City's going to win on defense at times. That's okay. Protect the football. You got 60 minutes. Protect the football.
Yeah.
Get a rhythm on offense. Get the ball out of your hands. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one looks. You got to hit them when they're there. There's going to be certain impact plays. You've got to win the impact plays.
Yes.
I agree. Above all, protect the damn football.
And I don't need the defense to win. I heard that too. We need the defense to win. No, we don't need the defense to win the game. But what we do need the defense to do is get the ball back in Jalen Hurts' hands. That's what we need. We need a couple turnovers
And they will.
this game. We need a 3-and-out against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is a big test. A 3-and-out's just as good as a turnover. Because this is going to be a battle also with time of possession. Because what's going to win the game? I know Kansas City offensively hasn't been putting up the numbers that they have in previous years. Points per game, they were 12th. Yards per game, they're 19th. 23rd in the run, 15th in the pass. I get it. But that's how you lose the game. Patrick Mahomes and that offense with too much time. I just need the defense to get the ball back in Jalen's hands. And then I need the offense to do what they've been doing all year, which is run the ball, control the clock, start tacking on points. And again, when they start getting that chokehold on you, they just keep squeezing like an anaconda. It just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter. That's what we need this team, the Eagles team, to do.
Great to get a word in edgewise.
Jimmy Butler's a warrior.
That's what I was saying.
Whoop-de-doo. The Sixers are still the Sixers. So they need to do everything absolutely perfectly. That's it. They can't turn the ball over one time, and they have to force the Chiefs to turn the ball over. I don't need Patrick to turn the ball over, but I need Worthy. I need Kelce. I need a peanut punch out of Kelce. I need the mustache marauder to get angry and go over and throw Andy Reid in a chokehold and start crying. I'm happy that the whole nation and the world is talking about the refs. Now, I don't like complaining about refs or talking about refs like that. I mean, there's bad calls all the time. Some calls go in our favor. But I love all this conversation about the refs because everybody's talking about it in a sport where gambling is so open and so free. At least when you watch this show, we're not giving you 32 parlays every week trying to pimp off this money that everybody's doing because it takes away from the core importance of the game. But now that the refs are being called out at Goodell's face, in Travis's face, in Mahomes' face, you want to cry to the refs, you look like a bitch. I suggest you don't do it. Play the game the way it's supposed to be played, man to man and straight up. Because now everybody's watching every single play and every single call. Some calls are, again, going to go in the Eagles' favor. Some calls are going to go in the Chiefs' favor. But I'll be damned if that pendulum swings hard one way or the other. because right now everybody's watching, and that makes me extremely happy because the Philadelphia Eagles have been making people turn the ball over. And again, I don't think Patrick's going to be the one to do it. Patrick plays well in big games, so you've got to attack the ancillary pieces. And for those people out there that love stupid stats, Vic Fangio is 0-7 against Spagnuolo. Okay, that sucks, man. I can't believe that Vic, this defense, this kind of caliber is 0-7. Well, do your research. I'm not going to do it for you, but go and look who the quarterbacks who were quarterbacking for him on the other side of that ball. And look up the 7 points, the 3 points, the 10 points, and the 12 points that they put up. And then look at the running backs who are on that team, okay? Then come back and tell me that you're still worried about that kind of stupid fact. The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFC, damn near best team in the NFL. And like I said, when they win that game, they will be the best team in the NFL. So don't you worry about it. It's already in the bag.
So you said the Eagles need to be perfect?
Yep. Except for Jake Elliott. He can miss a kick.
All right, good. Because I was going to say.
He always misses kicks to the left.
Okay, good. So Jake can miss a field goal.
He misses kicks to the left.
Patrick Mahomes is throwing a pick. You can mark it down right now. Patrick Mahomes will have one pick, at least one pick. The Eagles will win the turnover battle by 2. That'll be the difference in the game. And I'm not even telling you the Eagles won't turn it over, but they will win the turnover battle by 2. And I think, too, there's a lot of talk. I said the Eagles are going to eat. Saquon is going to eat. There's a lot of talk about this defensive line and how they're going to be able to do what they want to do and kind of limit Saquon Barkley. I mean, did Joe Mixon have success against this defensive line when Houston played the Chiefs? I mean, last I checked, he averaged 5 yards a carry.
I actually got it for you. Okay.
Did James Cook have success?
Yeah. So the Kansas City rushing defense, which in the regular season was ranked 9th, against Buffalo, right? Buffalo had 147 on the ground on 32 attempts.
Yeah.
A 4.6 average and 2 rushing TDs.
James Cook had 6.5 on his own.
Houston had 149 yards on the ground. Houston, the Texans, 29 attempts, 5.1 yards per average, 1 touchdown. Kansas City has played top 10 rushing offenses 5 times. Here's the bad news. They're 5-1 in those games.
Good. I don't care.
Here's the good news. Every one of those games was a 1-score game. And none of those offenses are as good as the Eagles.
That's where I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into a 1-score game with them. And I don't think it's going to be a 1-score game.
They can be run upon.
Yes.
Anytime they're playing a top 10 rushing offense, it's a close game for them. They're not blowing anybody out.
Kellen Moore.
Oh, here we go. Oh, take a nap. Take a nap.
See what I mean?
Give him a blanket. Let him take a nap. So you can't see your homeboy's getting arrested right next to us.
You found your prison buddy. Your
well, he's not my buddy. He's not.
Oh, there go the cuffs.
Can we turn? Got him.
Oh, God.
I mean, still watching it live.
Interesting.
See, if he had a 10, he'd have been shot.
Only
by
on
now.
PHLY.
Only on PHLY.
Reporting live from Parks Casino. We're gonna get more people
Ladies and
shooting
gentlemen,
in. He's getting him right in the eye.
So this is par for the course for the. do we want to?
That's what we're gonna do to Patrick Mahomes.
That's what
I'll tell you that right now.
All right. So we're getting this sign from our producer, which means our Super Bowl show is getting cut a little short. Give me a prediction real quick over top of screaming arrested dudes.
I'm kind
of. Or your game prediction. I don't give a shit at this
You know
point.
what? Birds win.
Let's wrap this up.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to give you a 29-20 because I don't think it's going to be a 1-score game.
Gritty. 24-17 Birds.
Chiefs are getting bent over and they got to take it. Go Birds.
There you go. We will see you for the post Super Bowl.
I'm flabbergasted right now. This is awesome.
This is like watching cops. Is this really happening in front of us?
You just roll them over, cuff them up.
Focus, squirrel.
Top 5
say goodbye.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest. That's a squirrel.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, Gritty, tell them where they can find us.
PHLYChiefs.com. Have a great night. Go Birds.
Cut this one.
We all silly.